the geep in Botswana would go for anything that moved, chasing after every female sheep that he came across within the facility. You go, geep.
Hey, geep was getting on though, boy. He said, I don't care if I'm infertile, bro. You finna see this fertile. You finna see that. Never mind. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Live Fam. Now today, bro, we got 15 scary hybrid animals that actually exist. All right, top 5. Shout out top 5. Make sure you guys go subscribe if you guys want more of this type of content. And yeah, chat, we're gonna be learning about some hybrid animals. Now, I wonder by hybrid, are they meaning that, you know, it's different breeds being mixed together, or is literally just a different type of the same breed? You know what I'm saying? Like just different coloration or something like that. But we're gonna see. Without further ado, make sure to grab your popcorn. Let's see.
We've all seen lions, tigers, and bears.
Yeah, he rubbing his butt.
But most people haven't seen an animal that contains...
Is it me though, or is this lion big as hell? Like too much donuts type big.
We've all seen lions, tigers, and bears, but most people haven't seen an animal that contains DNA of all three. It's actually possible for certain animal species to be interbred and procreate strange-looking hybrid animals.
Okay, but if there's three different types of animals, that means that had to be done in a lab or something, right? I mean, we not having intercourse with just 3 different types of things at once, right? No, that's being put together strictly by humans. I mean, humans already breed different breeds anyways, but I'm talking about at least with certain dog breeds or whatever, like they actually have intercourse or whatever, and then it just creates what it creates, right? But with 3 different things, no, that's a lab created thing, which is very dangerous, I would believe.
Today, we'll be taking a look at 15 of the most scary hybrid animals. Number 15, liger.
Liger.
While we were all laughing as Napoleon Dynamite was drawing pictures of the mythical liger in his notebook, scientists were laughing at us because the liger is very real. It's one of the most well-known hybrids to exist. But
is that why it looks like this? Yeah, I was making fun of it. My bad, little bro.
Don't expect to see one on the hunt in the savannah. This artificially created beast only exists in the zoos and sanctuaries that have birthed them. And as the name would suggest, they're the product of a male lion mating with a female tiger. But the kicker here is that these animals grow to be much larger than either of their parents.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, look at this. He's absolutely enormous.
And while this may sound cool to us, it's actually quite
That don't sound cool to me. Hell no, what you mean?
Than either of their parents.
Not my black ass.
And while this may sound cool to us, it's actually quite unfortunate for the ligers. They suffer from a bout of gigantism, which causes them to weigh around 1,200 pounds, which is way...
1,200 pounds? Chow, holy. Bro, right now, I'm like a little overweight than I should be right now, because I'm just not in the absolute grind mode for the gym and stuff just because of work and everything. But dude, I already feel like my freaking needs and stuff, like when I'm a little overweight, I feel like I'm weighing myself down. Imagine being 1,200 pounds, bro. Like, how do you even function at that point? And I feel bad because it doesn't look like these legs are going to be able to handle this weight. And they probably don't. I mean, look at, he looks like he's in pain, bro.
From a bout of gigantism, which causes them to weigh around 1,200 pounds, which is way too much for their body to even attempt to support.
That's what I'm saying.
So the odds of seeing one running around even in an enclosure are slim to none.
Jeez.
So while on paper the idea of a liger is awesome, they live somewhat of a sad existence. Because they're so overweight, it's too much for their body, organs, and heart to take. Most of them die at a young age. But the ligers are fertile, and although uncommon, they can mate with other ligers, tigers, and lions. But that offspring seems even scarier than the liger.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to test that, bro. I feel like the genetic pass down is going to continue to get worse every single time. Like, I wouldn't even want that, bro. Like, already this mix did not work out. I mean, I guess for the illusion, for just the thought of, hey, we just mixed a tiger and a lion. It's so cool. He's so big and so huge. But it's like, dude, you literally just made him have a fucked up life, bro. Like, artificially. And that's pretty messed up.
Number 14, jag lion.
Lions
are scary enough in their own right, and so the thought of combining them with a jaguar is downright terrifying.
So is lions just like the thing that we want to combine everything else with? Like, what's going on?
These animals are at the top of the food chain and stalk their prey before going in for the kill. And when you combine these two apex predators, you get the jag lion. A product of an incredibly selective breeding system, the jag lion is incredibly rare and will always be birthed at an animal sanctuary. But one of the most famous jag lions lived in the Bear Creek Sanctuary in Ontario, Canada, and will likely live out their days there, toting the line between lion and jaguar.
What the hell?
But their birth was actually a happy accident. A black jaguar had mated with a lioness, and thus these twins were born, and their caretakers have said that these two are inseparable.
Okay, well, in this case, this wasn't, you know, completely human tailored. This happened naturally, which I don't really have a problem with, man. You know what I'm saying? In this case, it's not like the most horrible thing that could happen, but in the case of the liger, where it's like a freaking lion and a tiger and they made it in a lab or like made them breed and stuff, I feel like that's kind of weird, bro, especially when it comes to the outcome of it literally not even having a safe life at all. You know, in this case, I'm hoping that the cubs have a good life and that they grow up good, but let's see.
Thus, these twins were born, and their caretakers have said that these two are inseparable. It's highly unlikely that they would be accepted by either species in the wild, and because they can't breed with other species of their own, they are essentially one-of-a-kind creatures. But one thing you can't deny is they're incredibly gorgeous, taking on the best physical traits of each animal.
Holy.
But if there's one lesson you can learn from nature, it's that the more beautiful the animal, the chances are the deadlier it is.
That's true.
Make sure you...
Chances are the deadlier there is, and the more like defects that they would have in general, bro. It's kind of like if you think about it for humans with beautiful colored eyes. Most of the time, like people with colored eyes and stuff, and I'm not sure the statistics behind it. I just heard this somewhere, but I heard that people with colored eyes tend to have, you know, worse vision than people just with, you know, normal brown eyes or whatever.
Just make sure you don't turn your back on them, because that's when they strike. Number 13, growler bear.
Growler bear?
Camping, the last thing you want to run into is a grizzly bear. If one of these things takes a liking to you, things probably won't pan out so well.
Yeah,
so
probably
what would
not.
happen if one of these giant predators had their genes crossed with their polar cousins?
Oh, hell no.
Then you've got a growler bear on your hands. The name may be silly, but the growler bear is not to be trifled with. And unlike previous...
It don't sound like anything to be trifled with. Both of those bears being mixed together sound like a whole lot of trouble.
Entries, these are more likely to turn up in the wild than in a zoo or sanctuary. Back in 2006, an odd-looking bear was shot in the Canadian Arctic, and after some DNA testing and plenty of head scratching, it was confirmed that this was in fact a hybrid animal. So how does something like this even happen? Don't grizzlies and polar bears have their own respective territories?
Right.
This one is a little sadder, and it's likely that these two bears came across each other due to climate change. As we all know, polar bears have been running out of space in the Arctic regions, so they've been moving south into grizzly country. And you can figure out the rest from there. But since that initial sighting, more and more hunters are reporting growler bear sightings, and it's likely that there will be even more in the future.
That's crazy to think about, you know what I'm saying? I mean, climate change is a real thing, bro. As much as people try to doubt it or whatever, I mean, it's showing every single day, bro. Every single year, it's showing. The climate is changing. But in terms of the effects of it that you usually think about, you know, when it comes to climate change, especially in the videos we watch with the prehistoric animals and everything, usually it's a catastrophic thing that can happen to them just because of their habitat being ruined. And you just think, okay, they probably will die off or whatever. But obviously, they try to migrate somewhere else and stuff. And one thing that you don't really think of that's the possibility of happening is them actually intermingling with other species that they probably think is still them because it's still a bear or whatever, or, you know, whatever type of animal it is. And there's a possibility we get a hybrid animal.
Number 12.
All because of the climate change.
Zonkey is not a zombie donkey. The fact that this hybrid animal exists is creepy enough.
Yeah, that's creepy. It kind of looks like it has pants on, bro. Like it has zebra pants.
But the fact that this hybrid animal exists is creepy enough. When you mix a zebra with a donkey, you get the strange cocktail that is the zonkey. And because
you also get a strange
equine, breeding two successfully is pretty easy to do. But the chances of a zebra and a donkey falling in love with each other in the wild are pretty...
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, this looked like a relationship that shouldn't be going down, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
Bet that any zonkey in existence is a product of both science and selective breeding.
Heck?
And luckily, much like its parents, the zonkey is anything but deadly, unless killing somebody with cuteness is a thing. The zonkey is able to retain traits from both parents that give it its coat, and so they'll typically have zebra lines on their legs, but they'll still give you that iconic hee-haw if you get a little too close. Perhaps they retain the best of both worlds then. But the catch with the zonkey is that these guys are a one-time deal, meaning they can't produce any young, making each iteration one of a kind. And if you ever get down to Tijuana...
So they cannot reproduce, basically, which is... Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. But like you said, this was pretty much lab made, to be honest. Human tailored, like the liger was, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, the likeliness of them all of a sudden loving each other and stuff, a fucking donkey and a zebra, bro. Like, are we dead ass, son?
...produce any young, making each iteration one of a kind. And if you ever get down to Tijuana and see a fully striped zonkey, chances are it's just a donkey with those black and white stripes painted on. But if you want to catch a glimpse of this wild hybrid, your best bet is going to be at a special zoo.
Yep.
Number 11.
Definitely special.
Humpless camel.
Humpless
If you're
camel.
lucky enough to see a camel in person or even
Did somebody hump his hump?
ride one, the first thing you're going to notice is the hump. But what about humpless camels? Also known as camas. Humpless camels are the product of a camel breeding with a llama. And while you may not realize it, llamas and camels aren't that too far from each other.
Yeah, they don't look that far off, so I can get this. I can get why you would mistake, you know what I'm saying? You would mistake them for your kind.
Far from each other in the gene pool. So this hybrid animal isn't as rare or tough to create. This is an interesting animal because while it may look like a small camel, you'll immediately notice
flat back ass.
The hump is missing. But they do take on the llama's coat.
They can look like a chicken thigh, but
they are extra soft. While not as large as a camel, an adult cama can weigh up to 6 times as much as a llama. But because these can only be made via artificial insemination, you'll never see one out in the wild. Plus, think about where each animal lives in relation to the other. That just can't happen. The very first cama on record was bred in 1998, with the goal of producing more wool than your straight-up llama because of its size and more cooperative temperament.
This shit is creepy. I'm not gonna lie. This could be a scary movie, bro. I do not want to see this if I'm going anywhere in the desert. I'm not hopping on your bag, nigga.
So originally, llamas were too small and camels were too tough. And in just 10 years, another 5 camas were produced. Number 10.
Okay. Beef. So that one wasn't too crazy.
Beefalo.
Humans
love beef. We love burgers and steaks maybe a little too much sometimes. I feel like there aren't enough cows to satiate our appetites.
Yeah, I love cows.
Naturally, scientists are always thinking of ways to really beef things up. This is why they created the beefalo. The product of a human-led breeding program. You get a beefalo when you mix a male cow and a female bison. And unlike some of the other hybrids we've seen, the history—
I ain't gonna lie, that meat gotta taste crazy. How you think that meat tastes like? Oh my god, that sounds great.
The history of the beefalo goes back a few hundred years. The first recorded beefalo sighting was in 1749, when they were accidentally bred in the American South. But about 100 years later, settlers began creating beefalo in the hopes that they would provide both more milk than cows and survive the harsh winters. Think of them as super cows.
Yeah, I could get why. I could get the thought process behind that, to be honest. This is probably the first one where it's not just all about the looks or just curiosity of how, you know, two breeds would intermix. They kind of like have some sort of plan to try to make an actual good hybrid that could benefit them, but still humans.
Beefalo was tough to manage, but they were a success nonetheless because the majority of them were able to produce offspring. But cut to a few centuries later, the meat industry is booming and manufacturers are employing scientists to help them produce more and better meat. So now, the beefalo comes in again, offering not just more meat, but leaner and with less fat and cholesterol than your average cattle.
Oh,
it's
really?
An odd animal with an odd history, and perhaps even an odder future.
Even an odder future. Sorry, but you get the point. This is probably the coolest hybrid so far in terms of the actual skills that it possesses and honestly the benefits that it would have. You know what I'm saying? Better meat, more lean, more milk, better milk, healthier milk, all the milk. Sorry.
Number 9, henny.
Hemi?
If you thought that
Timothy Johnson Jr.?
Donkey was one freaky hybrid animal, then just wait until you hear about this one.
Timothy?
The henny is a product of a match made anywhere but heaven. A female donkey mating with a male—
That's an insane title to have, bro. Bro say this is a match made in anywhere but heaven.
Is a product of a match made anywhere but heaven.
Wow.
A female donkey mating with a male horse. And so the henny is essentially the opposite of a mule and looks much smaller than its well-known cousin. But instead of being a smaller, more demure hybrid animal, this one is strong, really strong. Henny have some tough legs, so despite their size, they can give you just a little more bang for your buck than the average pack animal.
Yo, one thing I'm like hella scared of is getting behind a horse, which you should never do, by the way, just get right behind it. But being behind a horse and that motherfucker kicking you, bro. Like, you will literally die, most likely.
It's quite an interesting characteristic.
Or if not, you damaging some intestinal organ.
It's quite an interesting characteristic. And unlike the mule, the henny is a little easier on the eyes, with a more and overall better looking mane. So
yeah, the mane is nice.
Beauty and brawn. But how about brains? Well, maybe not so much.
Oh.
It may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but they certainly know how to get the job done. The biggest question here is, why do you get a mule when you cross a male donkey with a female horse, but a henny when you have the inverse pair? It all comes down to the dominant traits of the mother. So, because the henny's mother is much smaller than the horse that sired it, you get this small in stature hybrid animal.
Yeah, I mean, that's just basic genetics. Same thing in humans and stuff, you know. Whatever genetics dominate tends to take over, whether it's like your eye color, even your height, your certain looks, your eyes themselves, your mouth, nose, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You probably notice that you have, strong features that your parents have and stuff, and it just means that their genetics dominated the other parents in terms of that specific thing. So, makes sense. Same thing with animals.
Number 8, the zoo. Sure, a lot of hybrid animals are the products of lab creations and the want for newer zoo attractions. But then there are those that are made out of necessity. And that's exactly what the zoo is. It's what you get when you mix a yak with a domestic cow, and it's easily one of the most useful hybrids around. The zoo has become all the rage amongst farmers in the hills of Mongolia and Tibet.
It looks really cool.
As they make not only excellent beasts of burden, but they've also become a bit of a delicacy, offering the best of both worlds when it comes to the meat. But what really makes the zoo so special is its sheer size, because neither a cattle nor a yak can achieve that size naturally. And fun little fact about the zoo is that females are all fertile and capable of further producing offspring. But when it comes to the males, they're a one-time deal. The male zoo is totally infertile, so you better enjoy those genes while you can. The zoo.
Why is that though? Like, why are some animals just straight infertile, bro? He only got one bus in him, or you got no buses? That's it? He can't have no kids? Wow.
The zoo is a great example of what happy accidents can yield, as well as the brains and creativity of everyday folk, as opposed to men and women in lab coats cooking up Frankenstein monsters for research purposes.
That's why I said, bro, the whole lab thing, I never agree with that, bro. Like, I get it, you know what I'm saying, for experimental purposes. You want to find out this or that, and it could possibly benefit, but I just feel like it's just inhumane, bro. Like, let things happen naturally, bro. Just let things happen naturally, and it'll be meant to be. That's just what I believe, at least.
Number 7, spider.
Like, I don't think we should be interfering in literally in a laboratory mixing up genes of animals, bro. Like, cause, like, for example, that liger at the beginning has a terrible life. Terrible. And there's nothing you can do about it, bro.
Goats. Okay, you've heard of Spider-Man, but what about spider goats? Spider goats are very real, and a new addition into the world of living oddities created by science.
What?
But instead of swinging from building to building and saving the city once a week, all these goats do is produce milk that contains spider silk. But because these goats have had their DNA spliced with the golden orb spider, the silk from the milk...
Are we dead ass right now, bro? Like, how do you even get this in your mind to make in the lab, bro? How? I don't understand. A spider and a goat? Is it because Spider-Man is the goat, so you're just trying to intermix that? I don't know. If that's what you're saying, maybe. But still, this is so random.
Can be extracted and used to make all kinds of amazingly strong materials like parachutes, fishing lines, and even body armor. These spider goats are totally amazing and seriously unusual. But don't expect to find silk milk on the shelves of your local grocery store.
Yeah, definitely
soon,
not.
Because they're strictly bred and farmed for science. And if you don't believe me, just reach out to the University of Utah, and they'd be happy to show off these amazing spider goats on one of their many guided tours. And always just remember that with great power comes great responsibility, even for goats.
Even for the goats. Yeah, so those goats, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool and everything, but yeah, it's strictly lab made and strictly for lab purposes, like you said, which makes sense, bro. I'm sure they wouldn't have those just out in the wild or anything. And yeah, there's no way a goat's putting their thing inside a spider anyways. Or the other way around, so yeah, it's not happening.
All right, this next entry of wacky hybrids is probably one of the rarest in the world, which is saying a lot, and probably one of the coolest too. The wolphin is what you get when you cross a female bottlenose dolphin and a male false killer whale, which is actually a member of the dolphin family and not an actual killer whale. Just imagine what that would look like. But the wolphin is a super cool hybrid that does in fact exist in the wild, and more people have been seeing them, albeit still far and few between. But of course, this is the type of animal that you'd mostly find in captivity, with the first being produced in Tokyo SeaWorld in 1981, who unfortunately died after just 200 days. The first wolphin in the United States was birthed at the Sea Life Park in Hawaii in 1985, named Kekaimalu, which means from the peaceful ocean, and she was a hit from the moment she was born. And it's not hard to see why, with her darker skin, nice row of 66 razor-sharp pearly whites that she shows off with every wide smile.
Why is she stroking the ocean?
To produce offspring, which sadly passed away after just a few days. But her second calf lives a far more successful life, living to be about 9 years old. It's safe to say that the wolphin still needs some genetic fine-tuning to become a mainstay within the animal kingdom.
Yeah, it looks like they're having trouble staying alive for a long amount of time. Now I wonder what that genetic mutation or problem that they're having, you know, specifically.
Number 5.
I wonder what it is. A
Not
geep?
to be confused with the four-wheeled Grand Cherokee. The geep is a funny little hybrid animal made when a sheep and a goat successfully procreate.
Bruh.
But that pairing doesn't always work out, and many geeps are never carried to term and come out as stillborn. So like some previous list entries, the geep is a rare find. So if you do manage to catch a glimpse of one, consider yourself...
It's kind of cute though, I'm not gonna lie. Look at it.
Entries, the geep is a rare find.
It is cute.
So if you do manage to catch a glimpse of one, consider yourself to be incredibly lucky, because these little guys are cute as hell. The very first case on record of one of these little hybrid babies being born dates back to the year 2000, when a male sheep impregnated a female goat at the Botswana Ministry of Agriculture.
Freaky ass sheep. That's what y'all be doing in Minecraft when I'm not looking, nigga? Oh, freak ass on, man.
Botswana Ministry of Agriculture. The baby geep was born with a coarser outer coat and beautiful woolly inner coat, and it came with the legs of a sheep and the body of a goat. It sounds a bit like a mythological creature, but much to the chagrin of the caretakers, it was totally real. Sadly though, like many hybrid animals, the geep is infertile, so the idea of an entire flock of geep running around in the meadow is just a pipe dream.
Bro, I really wonder why so many hybrid animals are infertile, bro. It seems like it's a common trend, but at the same time, is it super surprising? Not really, just because you're mixing certain genetics that are not meant to be, or, you know, something that happens usually. So in some way that goes wrong in their genetics and makes it to where they're infertile, or they just can't, you know, they can't mate with their own kinds, whether that's both sides of the family. I don't know. That's weird though, bro. I actually want to search this up. Hybrid animals such as mules or ligers are generally sterile because they inherit mismatched. Yeah, so that's what it is. I knew it was some type of genetic thing. Mismatched chromosome sets from their different species parents. These chromosomes cannot pair up correctly during meiosis, the cell division process that creates sperm and the eggs, resulting in defective gametes. Gametes? I don't fucking know what that is. This incompatibility prevents successful reproduction. So yeah, that makes sense, bro. I mean, it makes it like their literal chromosomes are not lined up to be able to create the sperm and eggs and shit, because, you know, the hybrid is not supposed to happen.
He couldn't create any offspring. The geep in Botswana would go for anything that moved, chasing after every female sheep that he came across within the facility. You go, geep.
Hey, geep was getting on though, but he said, I don't care if I'm infertile, bro. You finna see this fertile. You finna see that. Never mind.
Number 4, green sea slug.
Green sea slug.
Claiming the number 4 spot on this list of hybrid animals is probably the most unusual yet. It's none other than the green sea slug. This slug is a strange beast, incorporating the genetic material from the algae that it eats into its own DNA.
What?
So talk about you are what you eat.
Literally, bro. If you could literally be you are what you eat in real life, this would be it.
It's one of the few animals on Earth with this characteristic, and floats about in the oceans looking like...
Chat, if this was true, what would you be right now? If you are what you eat, what would you be? Comment in the comments right now.
With this characteristic, and floats about in the oceans looking like a big green plant. But because the slug feeds on plants, it uses photosynthesis to create its own nutrients as well, which is what gives it its bright green color.
That's insane. Even called so does it technically eat himself, or what?
The emerald green Elysia. So instead of being the product of 2 different animals, the green sea slug is made up of everything, everywhere, all at once.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy, and it's still baffling scientists around the world. Research is still underway as to how the green sea slug is able to do what it does.
That's amazing,
as of yet, this amazing slug is the only successful instance of gene transfer from one type of complex organism into another. You'll typically find these guys hanging out in the shallows of tidal or...
You wouldn't even know though, bro, because this looks so much like a leaf. This is obviously a very, very, very zoomed in picture. But just think about it. This could just be sitting down in the bottom of the sea or whatever, bottom of a lake, and you could just step on it and not even know, bro. And think it's like a leaf.
Salt marshes and creeks. So the next time you're hanging around in those areas and see some bright green leaves floating about in the water, there's a chance that it's actually a green sea slug hiding in plain sight.
That's so cool.
Number 3.
That's actually really, really cool. This is probably the coolest hybrid in terms of how complex it is in general. You know what I'm saying? With the other ones, it was mixed between animals. All of them have been mixed between animals, but this is literally an organism mixed with a whole completely different organism, which is a freaking leaf, like the algae that they eat. You are what you eat. It became what it ate, and now it's just living and being able to do photosynthesis with its own self and feed its own self. Like, that's insane to think about, bro. Like, imagine if we could just grow all of our food just off our body, you know?
Plain sight. Number 3. Tigan.
Tigan?
Very similar to the liger, the tigan has the same parents, only this time the roles are reversed.
Oh, okay.
The tigan is the epic offspring of a male tiger and a female lion or lioness. But it is amazing how, despite having such similar parentage, the tigan looks so different from its gender-swapped counterparts. These hybrid animals are absolutely gorgeous, with their light tan stripes and a nice white underbelly, all topped off with a big mane and spotted head.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. What?
Mane and spotted head. And as you could probably guess
so
by
nice.
now, there's no way that a tiger and lion are mating in the wild. Tigers are incredibly solitary.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Spanning for miles and miles, and lions mainly sticking to their pride. On the off chance that these two animals came across each other in the wild, the odds are it wouldn't end well.
Yeah,
So
they'll
the
most likely
tigan
fight.
is only ever going to be found in captivity. And there's no way these hybrids could ever be released into the wild, because they would sadly never be accepted by either species.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They would both reject them so bad. Like, what the f are you, my boy? What are you? Are you a tiger? Are you a lion? You gotta pick a side, my boy. They're gonna be like, I don't know.
Such is the life of a hybrid animal, I suppose. The tigan's history dates all the way back to 1943, when one was successfully birthed at the Munich Hellebrunn Zoo and even raised to adulthood. And while there have been just a handful of exceptions, the majority of the tigans you'll come across at your local zoo are sterile, meaning each one is both the first and last of their family.
Yep. Just like literally 99% of all these hybrid animals, they cannot produce offspring of themselves.
Number 2.
Because of their chromosomes.
Ligers and tigans and growler bears, oh my. And if you thought those were freaky
Wait, what?
hybrids, then just wait until you see this one. When a male
Oh, I thought it was saying that was his mixture. I was so confused. Like, no way.
And if you thought those were freaky hybrids, then just wait until you see this one. When a male leopard successfully mates with a female lion, you get the leopon. These hybrids are animals that are rare, with only a handful ever to exist. All of whom were bred in captivity. The leopon has both a unique and beautiful appearance, and looks like something Hercules came across during his 12 labors. The leopon has the head of a lion, a beautiful mane, deadly jaws and all, but with the spotted body of the leopard.
Oh my gosh.
If this thing ever got out into the wild, there's no doubt that it would be the apex predator and absolutely dominate the jungles and savannas of the world.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. This, like, if I saw this would definitely take the aura of just the lion itself. Because it has the mane of the lion with the prints of the jaguars. Or wait, was it a jaguar? I can't even remember now. A leopard. This would be amazing. Holy, this would be so much aura.
That it would be the apex predator and absolutely dominate the jungles and savannas of the world as it blends into its surroundings, stalking its prey.
Oh yeah,
that
too.
For us, that's never going to happen. The world's very first leopon was bred in India at the turn of the 20th century, and now more than 100 years later, it's believed that there are only about 100 in existence today.
What?
The minute one of these leopons are born, they enter the endangered species list. It's one strange yet beautiful existence.
Damn, I want to see one of these in real life. I know they're so beautiful, bro. But they're probably so vicious too.
Number 1. Killer bees.
Killer bees!
I bet you didn't know that killer bees are actually hybrid.
Bro, wasn't this a thing at one point? Like a freaking outbreak that was supposed to happen? Did anybody actually come across one of those killer bees or something?
Killer bees are actually hybrid animals. That's right, these horrifying little fuzzy buzzing creatures are actually the product of human interference. Created back in the 1950s,
Are we dead ass?
Scientists were putting their heads together with the goal of increasing the world's honey production. So they bred a few different species of bee. They took the typical honeybee and mixed them up with the African bee in a lab in Brazil.
Yo, humans are restarted. I gotta say it, bro. I gotta say it. So you're telling me you tried to increase the honey production, not by like trying to replicate DNA or whatever, and just make more bees in general. Nothing like that. No, let's just mix these breeds and see what happens, bro. Like already a regular bee can't just kill a human on its own, bro. You know, a pack of them, you mess with their nest or something, so you gonna make killer bees? Are you kidding?
The result was a big bee with a nasty attitude that was supposed to live out its days in a controlled environment. Too bad for the scientists, though, and the rest of the world, that these new hybrid bees broke loose. And unlike so many hybrid animals, the killer bee is very, very capable of producing not just honey, but offspring.
So the one motherfucking hybrid animal that can produce offspring is killer bees? Oh, hell no!
Characteristic is their strong will to defend the colony at all costs. And unless you're deathly allergic, the sting of one killer bee won't be too much. But the thing is, you never just see one killer bee on its own.
That's what I'm saying.
These deadly little insects love to hang out in swarms.
It's like one bee by itself is not the most dangerous threat. It's when they have all of them, bro. Like, I remember I told you guys a while ago, I actually had a beehive, like, kind of in the attic of my house, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. Like, I just started noticing there was just a whole bunch of bees because there's trees outside, and I'm pretty sure they had pollen or something, like flowers growing on them, which had to get cut down and everything. But I just noticed, like, just more and more were just gathering, and there was just a lot by the pool and stuff. Like, it was a lot of bees, bruh. This was like the first time I had a pool and stuff, so I thought it was just kind of normal because, you know, I saw bees at my grandma's house and stuff. She had a pool. But yeah, I started getting way more. I started hearing crazy buzzing. Look at the tree, bro. I'm telling you, thousands, probably thousands, bro. Oh my god, it was the scariest shit in my life, bro. Deadass. But yeah, you had to get that handled. And bees are scary when they're all together, bro. They're the most scariest motherfuckers ever.
And if you ever come across one, there's no way you can outrun them on just 2 legs.
Especially when their queen is nearby. That's when they turn the most vicious, bro.
This is one hybrid animal that you want to steer clear of at all costs.
It's a W video though, you know what I'm saying? What was the most scary to you guys, bro? I'm gonna say probably the leopon or the killer bees would be my top 2 that I would say is the most dangerous, but the coolest is probably, I don't know. The leopon is also probably the coolest to me. Top 2 dangerous and top 1 coolest. So you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.